Welcome to the 2017 online appraisal seminar on specialized appraisal in the New Jersey Highlands and Pinelands. This presentation is in the form of a video. Use the control section at the bottom of the page to pause, rewind, or fast forward the video as needed. Some slides have significant written information where pausing will be necessary to get the most out of the presentation. It may be helpful to pause each slide with significant written information first, read the information, and then start the video again to hear the audio. Thank you and good luck.
Appraisals of land in the Highlands region may be eligible for dual zoning consideration, where the subject property may be appraised under the hypothetical condition that zoning and environmental regulations that were in place as of January 1st, 2004 are currently in place, as well as an appraisal of the subject property to current zoning and environmental regulations. True or false? The answer is true. The appraisal order checklist and green light letter will indicate whether or not your assignment will include the need for a dual appraisal. Please take a few minutes to read over the material. You are appraising a 25-acre farm in the preservation area of the New Jersey Highlands that qualifies for the dual zoning valuations. The 2004 zoning had a minimum lot size of 5 acres, and based on this, you estimate the subject property may have yielded approximately 4 residential lots. You realize that the current zoning in the township has not changed. Which of the following is most likely to be true regarding this dual valuation? The zoning has not changed, so the values based on the current and former regulations should be the same. You realize that the much more strict regulations associated with the Highlands Preservation Area include a density of 1 unit per 25 acres of open area and 1 unit per 88 acres of wooded land. Disturbance is limited to 1 acre and impervious cover is restricted to 1/4 of an acre. The Highlands restrictions override the local zoning requirements, and therefore the subject lot may not be subdividable. Therefore, the value based on current regulations is less than the former zoning. Answer is B. The Highlands preservation requirements override local zoning that may not have changed to reflect Highlands regulations. The following question is also based on Highlands appraisal assignment. To continue on the same appraisal assignment, you have come to the conclusion that the restrictions associated with the Highlands Preservation Area may result in your subject property being non-subdividable in the current zoning valuation. What may be true regarding this appraisal assignment? The property may be very similar in the current zoning valuation and after valuation, as the property may not be subdividable in both scenarios. The comparable sales may be almost interchangeable in the current zoning valuation and the after valuation. The Highlands Preservation Area is so strict regarding subdivision and development that any sale under 50 acres, and in most cases even larger, may be deemed non-subdividable and therefore may be good restricted comparable sales in both scenarios, or possibly all of the above. Answer is D, possibly all of the above. You can use sales in non-deed restricted Highlands Preservation Area properties in the after condition, and you can use sales of deed restricted properties in the before value, with appropriate adjustments for property rights. Take a few seconds to read over the narrative. You have an assignment in the Highlands Planning Area which also requires a dual valuation specifically associated with Highlands Farms. In this case, you find that the zoning has not changed in regard to the area and bulk requirements in the 2004 and current situations. What other fairly common regulation associated with the current zoning valuation do you have to be careful to consider in the Highlands planning area? The Highlands planning area has a historical provision where properties with historically significant structures have higher minimum lot size requirements, or the 300-foot buffer requirements associated with Category 1 streams and waters. Answer is B. All Category 1 waters require 300-foot buffers from the bank of either side of the water body, whether they're in the preservation area, planning area, or anywhere else in the state. Take a few seconds to read the narrative. When appraising a property in the Highlands planning region, you learn that the municipality that the property is in has petitioned the Highlands Commission for plan conformance. Assuming that the petition is successful, you can safely make the following assumptions. The subject will be rezoned to 1 unit per 25 acres of open land and 88 acres of woodland. All wetlands will now be subject to 300-foot buffers regardless of their watershed status. Cluster development is mandatory. Answer is B. A town may require a downzoning or cluster development, but in order to conform, all wetlands shall have 300-foot buffers, same as in the preservation area. Take a few seconds to read over the material. Appraisals of farms in the Pinelands region are not always land-only appraisals in the Farmland Preservation Program. True or false? The answer is true. Certain agricultural improvements, such as barns, permanent plantings, irrigation, fencing, etc., are to be included in both the before and after values. No housing of any kind is to be valued. Please consult the SADC Appraiser Handbook for further directions. Take a few seconds to read over the material. When appraising a property in the New Jersey Pinelands agricultural production or special agricultural production areas that has received an LOI identifying that the property possesses Pineland Development Credits, PDCs, what improvements are not included in the before and after valuations? All improvements on accepted areas, all dwellings, all agricultural labor housing, all of the above. The answer is D, all of the above. The SADC Appraisal Handbook provides the language that directs the appraisers as to what improvements are to be appraised. When appraising a property in the New Jersey Pinelands, which of the following uses may be part of the highest and best use in the unrestricted before situation? Continued agricultural use, eventual sale of severable PDCs, very limited subdivision potential, all of the above. The answer is D. Generally, the AP and SAP areas are very limited for development potential. These properties were given Pinelands development credits to sell to add to density to regional growth areas. Take a few seconds to read over the material. Which of the following are potential residential development opportunities in the AP, SAP, and PA management areas of the Pinelands? Cluster development on 1 acre lots at a density of 1 unit per 40 acres. 1 6-acre farm lot at a density of 1 unit per 10 acres every 5 years. 1 cultural housing unit on 3.2 acres every 5 years. Or all of the above. Answer is D, all of the above. These are the 3 available low-density housing options for properties in these management areas. Please see the list of Pinelands on-site development opportunities in the appendix of the SADC handbook for details.
Thank you for your participation in our seminar associated with Highlands and Pinelands appraisals. Please review the handbook for additional information regarding these specialized appraisals. Please remember to fill out the attendance certification page and send it to the SADC as instructed to get credit for this continuing education. Thanks again.